A quiet Midwest town. A respected priest. A secret affair that led to an unspeakable crime. What began as a forbidden love story spiraled into a chilling murder that rocked the entire community. This is the haunting tale of Father Daniel Cooper and Olivia Harper. In this gripping documentary, we delve into the clandestine affair between Father Daniel Cooper, a trusted Catholic priest, and Olivia Harper, a young woman seeking solace and guidance. We'll explore how their relationship crossed sacred boundaries, unravel the series of events that led to her tragic death, and examine the investigation that exposed a horrifying truth hidden within the church walls. In the heart of Pinewood, Missouri, Father Daniel Cooper was more than just a priest. He was a beacon of hope, a confidant, and a moral compass for the people of Pinewood. Loved by the young and old alike, he had a way of connecting with everyone he met, offering wisdom and comfort in times of need. On the other side of the town was Olivia Harper, a bright, ambitious 23-year-old who had recently returned home from college. She was struggling to piece her life back together after the sudden and devastating loss of her mother to cancer. Olivia was known for her radiant smile and her passion for helping others. But behind the cheerful demeanor was a young woman grappling with grief and a longing for guidance and support. Their paths crossed in the spring of 2017 when Olivia began attending grief counseling sessions. It started innocently, a young woman searching for solace and a compassionate priest offering a listening ear. Over time, their conversations grew longer, extending beyond the walls of the confessional booth. Olivia found in Father Cooper a safe space to express her fears and dreams, while Cooper seemed drawn to her openness and vulnerability in a way he had never experienced before. St. Michael's Church had long been the heart of Pinewood, not just a place of worship, but a sanctuary where people sought refuge from life's storms. Father Cooper had built a reputation over his 15 years of service, delivering sermons that left his congregation moved and inspired. His words carried weight, and his presence was a source of comfort for families facing their darkest moments. For Olivia, the church became her second home. In a town where everyone knew everyone, the church offered an escape, a place where she could mourn her mother without the pitying looks or awkward condolences. And for Father Cooper, Olivia's presence stirred something unfamiliar, a connection that defied the boundaries of his vows. What started as grief counseling sessions quickly evolved into something more: phone calls late into the night and private meetings in the rectory. The community might have called it mentorship, but for Olivia and Father Cooper, it became an unspoken secret that grew heavier with every passing day. By the spring of 2018, Olivia and Father Cooper's connection had deepened in ways that went unnoticed by the Pinewood community. Their private meetings became more frequent, often extending late into the evening. Olivia shared parts of her life she had never spoken of before, her dreams, her doubts, and her feelings of loneliness. And in turn, Father Cooper began to confide in her, revealing his own struggles with faith and isolation. What began as mentorship now bordered on something more intimate. The pair exchanged late-night phone calls, shared meals in the rectory, and even took walks in the secluded garden behind the church. While they never spoke of it openly, an unspoken tension grew between them, one that neither could fully resist. By September, their relationship had crossed boundaries that could no longer be ignored. It was during a late-night conversation in the rectory that their shared vulnerabilities finally gave way to something physical. For Olivia, it felt like a deep, forbidden love. For Father Cooper, it was a dangerous line he never thought he'd cross. Their encounters became more frequent and more intimate, hidden under the guise of pastoral care. But as the weeks went by, cracks began to form in their seemingly perfect facade. Olivia grew increasingly attached, while Father Cooper struggled with guilt and fear of exposure. In January 2019, everything changed. Olivia sat across from Father Cooper, her hands trembling as she revealed the secret she had been carrying for weeks. She was pregnant. The news hit him like a thunderbolt. For Olivia, it was a mix of fear and excitement. For Father Cooper, it was the beginning of an unraveling he couldn't control. They discussed options in hushed, desperate tones. Olivia wanted to keep the baby, convinced it was a sign of their bond. But Father Cooper saw only disaster. A scandal that would destroy his life, his reputation, and his place in the church. Their once tender relationship now spiraled into heated arguments and growing distrust. By February, the relationship had reached a breaking point. Olivia felt abandoned and betrayed, while Father Cooper was consumed by fear and guilt. Their final meeting was filled with anger and tears. Witnesses later recalled seeing Olivia leave the rectory in tears on the night of February 15th. The night of March 15th, 2019, was bitterly cold in Pinewood, New York. Olivia had sent her roommate a brief message. "I'll be back soon." She didn't say where she was going, but her destination was clear. To meet Father Daniel Cooper. According to her close friends, Olivia had been growing increasingly agitated in the weeks leading up to this night, torn between fear and determination. That fear turned into tragedy. Olivia arrived at St. Michael's Rectory around 8:30 p.m. Witnesses later described seeing her approach the side entrance, visibly anxious. Inside, Father Cooper waited, pacing the room. Their conversation, by all accounts, started calmly, but quickly escalated into a heated argument. Olivia, 6 months pregnant with Cooper's child, had given him an ultimatum: acknowledge their relationship, or she would go public with the truth. What happened next can only be pieced together through forensic evidence and Cooper's eventual confession. Olivia's determination to reveal the affair enraged Cooper, who saw his career, reputation, and life unraveling before him. Desperation turned to fury. At 9:17 p.m., neighbors near the rectory reported hearing what they described as muffled shouting followed by a loud crash. Inside the rectory, the argument had turned physical. Olivia fought back, scratching and clawing at her attacker, leaving behind evidence under her fingernails. A vase was shattered during the struggle. The altercation ended when Cooper grabbed an ornate, heavy crucifix from his desk and struck Olivia repeatedly. The final blow crushed her skull, leaving her lifeless on the floor. But for Cooper, the nightmare wasn't over. He now had a body to dispose of. A chilling decision that would come to haunt him. Under the cover of darkness, Cooper dragged Olivia's lifeless body to his car. Using a tarp from the church storage, he wrapped her tightly, concealing the evidence. Surveillance footage from a nearby gas station captured his vehicle leaving the rectory at 11:03 p.m., heading toward the Pinewood Nature Preserve, a secluded area known for its dense woods and rugged terrain. It was there, in the dead of night, that Cooper dumped Olivia's body into a shallow ravine. He left her there, exposed to the cold and the elements, a stark betrayal of the trust she once had in him. 2 days later, on February 17th, a hiker in the Pinewood Nature Preserve stumbled upon the gruesome scene. Olivia was found wrapped in the tarp, her face bruised and battered, her hands still bearing the defensive wounds of her final struggle. Detectives arrived at Pinewood Nature Preserve within hours of the hiker's 911 call. The area was immediately cordoned off, and forensic experts began a meticulous examination of the scene. Olivia's body, wrapped in a heavy tarp, showed signs of blunt force trauma and strangulation. Around her, scattered belongings hinted at a staged robbery, but the arrangement felt rushed and sloppy, an early red flag for investigators. Initially, Olivia's identity was unknown. Her face bore bruises, and her body had been exposed to the cold for nearly 2 days. But a stroke of luck came when investigators found her driver's license tucked inside her discarded purse. The discovery sent shockwaves through the Pinewood Police Department. This was Olivia Harper, a young college student known for her kind heart and close ties to St. Michael's Church. As investigators dug deeper, their attention quickly turned to Father Daniel Cooper. Church staff described him as visibly agitated in the days following Olivia's disappearance. A search of his office revealed a troubling discovery. A handwritten note from Olivia, dated just days before her death, that read, "We need to talk. You can't keep avoiding me." This note, combined with Cooper's connection to Olivia, raised immediate suspicions. Forensic experts worked tirelessly to connect the dots. Olivia's injuries suggested a brutal struggle, and blood spatter patterns indicated she had been struck multiple times. The weapon? A heavy crucifix later found hidden in Cooper's office during a warrant search. Forensic analysis confirmed traces of Olivia's blood on the object. As the investigation intensified, witnesses began coming forward. A parishioner recalled seeing Olivia arguing with Cooper outside the church weeks before her death. Another described hearing loud noises coming from the rectory on the night of the murder. But the most damning testimony came from Olivia's close friend, who revealed the details of her secret relationship with Cooper, including the pregnancy. After weeks of mounting evidence, the Pinewood Police Department arrested Father Daniel Cooper on March 3, 2018. He was taken into custody during a morning mass, his congregation watching in stunned silence as the man they trusted was escorted out in handcuffs. The arrest marked a turning point in the case, but for Olivia's family, the road to justice was just beginning. Under mounting pressure from overwhelming evidence, cracks began to show. Detectives presented Father Daniel Cooper with the damning DNA results, the crucifix tied to the crime, and the phone records placing him at Pinewood Nature Preserve. Finally, after 6 grueling hours, Cooper let out a deep sigh and uttered 6 haunting words. "You want the truth? I killed her." When asked why he committed such a heinous act, Cooper's response was as chilling as his actions. He described feeling trapped, fearing the consequences of Olivia's pregnancy on his reputation and position in the church. He claimed he acted out of desperation, but investigators saw through the thin veneer of remorse. For them, this was not a crime of passion, but a calculated attempt to silence a young woman forever. The confession sent shockwaves through the Pinewood community. Parishioners who once viewed Cooper as a moral leader now struggled to reconcile his heinous actions with the man they thought they knew. Olivia's family, heartbroken and angry, demanded justice, vowing that her story would not be forgotten. The trial of Father Daniel Cooper became a media sensation, exposing the scandalous affair and the brutal murder. Daniel's defense attempted to plead insanity, citing his claims of divine voices. However, the jury found him guilty, and he was sentenced to death. The case sparked widespread outrage, challenging the public's perception of the sanctity of the clergy. The tragic tale of Olivia Harper and Father Daniel Cooper serves as a grim reminder of the consequences of forbidden desires and the abuse of power. It raises questions about the vulnerabilities within religious institutions and the human capacity for deception. What drives individuals to commit such atrocities? Share your thoughts in the comments below.